Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stones and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world, hope you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with our favorite drug dealer, Ralph Wiley from the show Reefer Madness. Our favorite from 1937. He's been around. We love him. Thanks, Ralph Wiley, for giving us and throwing to the cause some Permanent Cherries, which is a lemon cherry times Cushman BX1 times permanent marker by Seed Junkie Genetics. It's a dark cherry flavor with a heavy stoner feel to it. Cherry, and that's really all I got. It's all the information that they sent me.
We'll just see how it plays out. Yes,
I'm super stoked. These guys are great. We've gotten to know them over the years. Their story is fantastic. They're not ready to come on the show and do a what's the show we do? Renegade Sesh. They're not ready yet. They still think the federally legalization is still. But one day I'm gonna have the fellas here. Their story in weed is absolutely phenomenal. From their pops,
beginnings.
Yes, from their pops to them and how they got. It's just really good. It's good. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting to try this. Oh,
tasty, peppery, cherry.
Oh yeah, got a little bit.
The flavors are flavoring.
That means you can taste.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's good.
That's really nice. I'd like to thank the boys at Ralph Wiley. You can catch them at a lot of events. They're always around. They've been growing and for a very long time. I think 15, 16 years maybe even longer, but I think about 15 years from what I've known. Yeah, I'll take a couple more. And I've mentioned them. We've smoked them on the show a few times. Actually, more than a few, a bunch of times. They actually sponsor our table.
Times.
Yeah, they sponsor our table a lot when we do our events. They sponsored our 2024 420 episode. They have a beautiful grow up. They have also a great selection of flower. So if you catch them, check out Ralph Wiley on Instagram and find out where they're at. They do a great job with their t-shirt designs, and they're just a really, really cool dudes, and I like hanging out with them.
Good quality flower.
Oh, the
good
flower is
grow.
amazing. Yeah, top 5
and definitely,
in my repertoire.
They're definitely an uppity brand.
Right.
A lot of sativa, a lot of energizing.
Orange Push Pop, baby. Yeah.
And wedding
like
cake.
I like a lot of their Kush stuff though. So, which you don't see a ton of Kush, and they do have. He has a few crosses with some Kushes, which I love so much. So, Ralph Wiley, thank you for throwing to the cause. We really appreciate you and all your success. That we love hanging with you at events that we get to do together, and always thank you for growing some of the best weed around. And I appreciate you guys so much. And check out. If you haven't seen it, Reefer Madness, you'll find out who Ralph Wiley is. I've told their story before. So, but one day we will have them on the show. I cannot wait for that day. I'll take a minute on that one. Hey, everybody, don't forget about 8decades.com. Check out Mrs. Weedman's baby, 8decades.com, for all your cannabis needs. We have the best smoke set ever in the world. You got a 16-gauge stainless steel tray, curved edges, so your weed don't fall out. We have the tool set, interchangeable, which is great, with a tamper on it, with the nice weed logo on it. We also have a holding case for it that you can hold the 2 tools in there, and also the rod that you place in and out of the tool. Also a dope ashtray. It's 3-piece, dishwasher safe, amazing. You can choose your color, white, black, or green. $100 get you free shipping. Also check out all of our other stuff on there too. Check out 8decades.com, Mrs. Weedman's baby. Where we're going to be next? We got an event to go to, July 18th.
We are going to Scales Mound, Illinois. For Canna and Company.
Yes. So this is Canna and Company. We were invited and go to the Joe Davies County's first ever cannabis consumption event on Friday, July 18th at Scales Mound, Illinois. The barn location will be shared within 48 hours of the event. Double feature cannabis education movie night. They're going to be showing Reefer Madness, right? And the Cole Memo, which is kind of cool. Cole's another podcaster here in Illinois. He's done some great work here, really plugging the Illinois and fighting for Illinois cannabis. So doors open at 5:30 p.m. with live music by Snakebite Medicine, which would be fun. And then 7:30 p.m. the screening with some bonfire, and then there's optional camping afterwards. Right, so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it'll be our first time way out in the Northwest. Way out in the Northwest.
New territory.
New territory. And I'd like to thank Maddie G, Tammy, and Stoney for inviting us.
Yes.
Looking forward to hanging out with you guys, coming to your neck of the woods because you're always coming towards us. So we're super stoked to come out your way and hang out for the night and party and bring our vibe to your tribe and roll some doinks and share the word of cannabis in 8 decades, right, Mrs. Weedman?
Yeah, and the cool connection with them is they are longtime listeners, especially
Maddie G.
Yeah, Maddie has been listening forever. He had mailed us something for our son when our son was in the military. So he's been around for the show for a long time and supporting us. Introduced us to Stoney, another podcaster, and Tammy, who works in the cannabis space, both dispensary and then
all
Canaco.
Three of them are in dispensaries.
Yeah, so they are like our Northern Illinois connection, and they're out by Dubuque, Iowa. Yeah, and so it's cool to be able to go out their way and partake.
They've been
in
telling us
they
were going to do an event for a long time, and we were waiting for them to let us know. And we're finally going to go out and hang with them and on their neck of the woods. I'm looking forward to seeing this camp they're going to have set up and the movie and the bonfires and stuff. It should be fun. And live music. I always like live music.
Yeah.
Can't I'll be bringing that fire. I'll be bringing that fire.
Yeah.
Maybe Maddie will sponsor the table too and throw us some of his weed for the table. We'll roll some doinks for some people. We had a nice, easy weekend. Didn't do much. It was just nice to relax and chill because we're coming into the 4th of July weekend here in Illinois, the United States,
everywhere.
Right? Yeah, everywhere in the United States. And so this is my favorite holiday of the year. July 3rd actually is my favorite day of the year. It's
really whatever day you choose for your party is your favorite
one
day
party
of the year.
a year. One. And I get one pass every year. And about 40, 50 people show up and it's a rager. Last year actually wasn't though.
Last year we kept
everybody
it quiet.
left around midnight.
Yeah.
It was kind of early. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Usually like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning some years, we're all hanging out in the basement or stuff like that. But this is my one party a year. And I'm super excited because it is my favorite day of the year. Because there's no gift giving. It's just
barbecue,
fireworks, beer, weed,
good people,
and a good conversation and good people. Yep.
Yeah.
And just it's always a beautiful day. And it's just a great time, a lot of laughs, and just Mr. and Mrs. Weedman cook a lot of food. I'm on the grill. Mrs. Weedman's in the kitchen doing all the sides and baking and stuff like that. So it's a pretty fun. And then 4th of July we don't do anything. We don't even like to leave the house. We just like to chill and relax. Or go sit at somebody's pool.
The rest of the weekend we'll veg. Maybe go to the beach.
Yeah, that's about it. So I'm looking forward to this July 3rd. I'm gonna have some fun. We're watching 2 shows now. We just started watching The Bear, episode 1.
Yep.
It was good. Hopefully they turn this season around. They got to make it fun. They got to make it like better than it was. It started off.
Just got whiny. I think
this first episode gave me a little hope because the clock is ticking. So it gave me a little hope that maybe they'll turn this shit around and start getting along and just not drive me crazy when I'm watching them work in the kitchen. So we will see. The other show now, we're on season 2, and I'm telling you what, if you haven't watched this show yet, I highly suggest watching the show. And this is Ted Lasso. Our son has Apple, so we're able to watch. Paulie has Apple, so we're able to watch Ted Lasso now. And we blew through that first season, and now we're on season 2, like episode 5. And I tell you what, it's American comedy with British humor, and it is just a really well done written show. The laughs. There's a little crying in it. There's a little anger. There's a lot of emotions in it. But the laughs and the one-liners are just incredible. And how they take Ted, who's from middle of nowhere football coach, American football coach, and just a hick accent. His humor,
not really like hick.
No,
a little southern, a little. Yeah. Like a Kansas drawl.
There you go. Kansas drawl. Thank you so much. And he is so good in that show. And then the people that all the stars and co-stars are just well played, well laughed. Just the one-liners, we piss our pants.
I like it because it's not overt comedy. It's very conversational and kind of naturally flowing conversation with kind of understated like comedic gestures. Like, there's a group of people in the room and you and your friend have a joke kind of thing. Like those kind of jokes where it's just this little, like, just the two of you get it. So like some of the humor like passes you and then you're like, oh my God, I just heard what he said. Like, or I just heard what she said. And then there's like unexpected personalities, people that like in general society, if you saw the person that looks this particular way, you expect them to act this particular way, like the jock and the pretty girl and the, the businessman and none of them do, or they may begin with that kind of personality and posturing, but then his kindness kind of like bleeds into everybody's behavior and he brings out the best in people. It's just really wholesome but not corny.
No,
it's
not
just
corny
really
at
cool.
all.
It's really cool.
And just to give you a little more premise, he's an American football coach, college, that got hired by a UK
a British divorcee,
who
acquired her husband's baby.
League football,
yes,
soccer league football, but football.
Her now ex-husband, owned like the British football club.
Yes,
the winning, but hadn't been winning for some time, and so she somehow acquired that, which was his baby, in the divorce, and so she just wanted to ruin it. She wanted to ruin it.
So
and
she
just
hires somebody that knows nothing about football.
Total outsider.
Soccer, football.
Yeah.
There was nothing about it. And comes over, but his assistant coach studied it because they knew her and it was teaching him along the way. And
he brought his assistant coach from home.
Football, yes. They're best friends. They've coached forever. They know each other. Like, I mean, they know what each other's going to say, everything like that. It's kind of crazy. How good they are as a duo.
It's really
and then
cute.
There's Nate, who's the best. Nate the Great. God. Nate the Great.
He's like the best. The team manager.
Yes, becomes a coach.
Locker room manager, kind of like but nobody's nice to him. Nobody respects him, and he like just the way that his character evolves is really great.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just good. And then just the soccer players and the owner and then the model and the surroundings of everybody. Higgins, just
oh my God, he's great.
It's just a good,
everybody. It's dynamic.
Yes, you have to watch it if you just want a good laugh. Like the last couple of weeks, because of all the shitty news that's going on, I'm like, can we just watch Ted Lasso before we go to bed and good laugh? And it would just brighten up
it's so light.
my yes. And you go, it's 30 minutes. You can go watch and go right to bed and have a good laugh. It's amazing. So it got me out of my head for a minute of all the bad news that was going on. I just needed something, and really they throw a lot of positive one-liners in there. A lot of like stuff you read from like mental positive books and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool. Like, and then every time you see that, believe over his office door. It's amazing.
It's very good.
It's a great show. If you want a good
feel good show.
Yes. Very, very good. So well done, Ted Lasso. Like I said, we're going to complete you watching you. And I think they're going into season 4. So we'll probably be caught up before season 4 comes out.
Yeah.
It's funny. They talk about Great British Baking Show.
Oh my God. Another
one
great
of the couples was talking about, we got to go home and watch the championship of the baking shows on. I was like, yeah.
The characters in the show.
Yes. So it was good. It's really, really good. Positive show. I highly suggest you all watch it. So, Ms. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
I have a proposition for you.
Keep it clean.
It's going to be clean. 100% clean.
Okay.
You might get sweaty.
Well, that's my life. I am 53, female. Just hot all the time, or freezing.
Coming in hot all the time,
or freezing.
There's no middle ground anymore. Just fucking just ice cold
freezing,
or fucking hot, burning on fuego
all day long.
So, but I have a proposition for you.
Okay, bring it.
Okay, can you do 10 pull-ups in an hour?
No.
Not in an hour? You can't do... If I gave you an hour time limit,
proper?
Yeah. Can you do 10?
Yeah, maybe in an hour. In an hour. One every like 8 minutes.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you think you could do...
Yeah.
What happens if I wanted you to break
that would
Guinness,
be too many minutes. But
the Guinness, we never say we get paid for math.
5, I think.
What happens if I want you to break
52?
Break the Guinness Book of World Records for pull-ups.
Every 52 seconds, one push-up. What would
pull up?
You know, I'll tell you.
Permanent Cherries got you, huh?
Yeah, it got me.
Thanks,
it really did.
Ralph Wiley.
Like
can't even complete the show. But anyway, what
would motivate me to break a world record?
No. I'm asking you the question is that I want you to break the Guinness Book of World Records for pull-ups. And you have 24 hours.
Yeah.
You want to know what the record is?
I know. Tell everybody.
Tell everybody?
Yeah.
7,079 pull-ups. Not done by a man. Not done by a man. Done by a he-woman.
Not a he-woman.
Just a woman. Just a married woman. I'm just calling he-woman. She's fucking to do 7,000. Yeah, like he-man. She's a he-woman.
She-Ra.
Fucking yes. There you go.
Master of the universe.
7,079 plus. She did it in 24 hours, nearly doubling the previous Guinness Book of World Records. Her name. I want to give you her name. Olivia Vinson, 34 years old. Told the Guinness Royal she was looking for a challenge when her husband and coach suggested she attempt the world record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours.
I would have thought it was like a few hundred.
7,000.
That broke down to like she had to do, what did I say? She had to do 5 every 10 minutes?
I don't know, divided by 7,000 divided by
how many minutes are in 24 hours?
You're really going to make me do this.
Oh, I'm not doing any of that. We can let anyone else who wants to chime in do that.
So she was looking for a bigger challenge, and her husband and coach actually suggested 24 hours of pull-ups, which I initially quite literally laughed at because I thought there was no way, she recalled. I looked up the current record, which was 4,081, and again, I thought there's no way. Vincent said it was only after she crunched the numbers on the previous record, which was set by a Polish woman, another woman, Paula Gorlow, in 2021, that she started to reconsider. After a little while, I did some math, and she said she thought maybe she could. She trained for 3 months before her first attempt, which ended prematurely. I got about 12 hours in, and I pulled the bicep tendon in my left arm, which meant at the point I couldn't even do a single pull-up. The injury forced her to take 2 months off before resuming training, and she finally felt ready for the second attempt. Her second attempt had its own challenges. 19 hours in, I started to feel quite nauseous, and I think it was just from being overtired, and it was something I had to manage as best as possible. My concern was whether my body would hold out. The athlete managed to complete 7,079 pull-ups on an average of 5 pull-ups every minute.
5 every minute.
Every 60 seconds.
But for 24 hours. She said at like hour 19, she was like vomiting. I mean, you might be able to do that for like maybe realistically 6-8 hours.
There's 2 women that held the Guinness Book of World Record. One had over 4,000 and one had 7,079. She achieved the number that she generally didn't think was possible. She didn't think it was possible for me when she first came into this. I think there's something deeply human about pushing boundaries, and I think the world records create a very tangible marker for human potential.
I want to find some really easy world record to pass. Not easy, but really obscure. And I'm gonna get a world record. What could it be for?
I don't know, but
words per minute? No, I wouldn't be able to do that fast.
You can't even get your words out now.
Yeah,
thanks to fucking Ralph Wiley and Permanent fucking Cherries.
Can't even see.
If you can see on the table here,
you'll see
their logos and stuff. So, like I said, make sure there's a big fat fucking nug on there too. Big fucking nug from them. So. I don't know what you could do. You'd have to look up, you'd have to go to Guinness Book of World Records and go through the book.
I know.
And see what you would want to try to beat. There's a lot of records in there. You ever see how big that book is?
That's big.
It's like this big.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2 Encyclopedia Britannicas. Back if any of you know what encyclopedias are. Some of you might be a little too young for that or old like us. You ready to get the show started?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right, for the last 2 months, there's been nothing but on the news, the about cannabis and fucking up your heart. Like Oh my God. CNN,
There's
New York
been nothing
Times,
but
Fox,
bad news.
The meta-analysis making waves across the New York Times, CNN, and Fox tried to build a mountain out of a molehill, only to realize too late it was standing on statistical quicksand. The perils of big claims and blurry studies. This week and the last few weeks, you can scan headlines like "Cannabis may harm your heart." Oh my God. I study articles for every day, right? I mean, 2-3 hours a day, I'm just researching. And how many times that cannabis may harm your heart passed by, and I was like, oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh, who's writing this one? Oh, CNN. Oh, Fox News. Oh, this fucking LA, whatever. I was like, oh my, for months, So listen, your pulse might quicken for a reason having little to do with the science, especially if you're one of the tens of millions using cannabis for stress, sleep, or pain. Or if you had a front row seat to how quickly misinformation about this plant spreads like wildfire across the media landscape, especially bad information. Oh my God, they just looking to keep that Reefer Madness 2.0 alive.
Yep. But
this time, the headline isn't just hype. It's based on new meta-analysis that pulled data from over 400 million people. 400 million, really? So should we panic, Mrs. Weedman? Let's pause before clutching our chest. While the data set is enormous, the actual findings are far less dramatic than framing suggests. In fact, once you crack open the details, what emerges is a definitive indictment of cannabis. It's a study more defined by what it can say than what it can. What are we really looking at here? I read that right.
I think
it's
you did.
It's a study more defined by what it can say than what it can.
No, but I know what your brain is doing right now.
Oh, I'm stoned as fuck. I'm trying to and everything's getting blurry like last week. Miss Weedman said the same thing. She goes, "You're not first article. You weren't." I'm like, because the weed just hits when we start reading,
and then you sometimes just
get
can't.
A little blurry,
or it's like you can't get the timing of
my mind's
speech
going faster than my mouth.
Smooth, right? I feel like I get like a robotic, jerky speaking. Yeah, sorry, Mr.
But
Weedman.
it gets better as we go along. It's just like that first 20 minutes.
Slam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially the stuff that we smoke. Thanks, Rob Wiley.
See so good.
What are we really looking at here? A red flag, a ripple, a Rorschach test? Oh, Mr. Carter.
Rorschach. He's Rorschach?
Yeah, he called him Rorschach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Great from his heart. Welcome back, Carter, if you don't know that show. Really funny. Vinny Barbarino.
Hey.
Grab a seat. A THC pill. Let's unpack it together. Association equals causation. At its core, this was an epidemiological review, not a clinical trial. That means it can identify patterns but not prove what caused them. The findings: a modest increase in cardiovascular events like acute coronary syndrome, ACS, and stroke among cannabis users. Relative risk range from 1.03 to 1.36 depending on the study. And sure, those numbers are technically statistically significant, but there's a catch, and here it is. With more than 400 million records, even tiny effects can pass the significant test. Think of it this way. If you surveyed every single person at Coachella about how many sneezes they had last week, something would look significant. But would it mean anything? As a one sharp reviewer once said, statistical power without precision is just noise in disguise. Pretty good. Confounders. One of the study's most glaring weaknesses isn't blurred in the fine print. It's central to the entire premise. They couldn't control for why people were using cannabis in the first place. Many people turn to cannabis for chronic pain, PTSD, anxiety, or sleep disorders, all of which are themselves associated with increased cardiovascular risk. If someone's heart is already under strain from chronic stress or years of poor sleep, cannabis use might be a bystander, not a culprit. And guess what? Most of the studies included didn't adequately adjust for those variables. That leaves us with an old research pitfall: confusing correlation with causation. It's like blaming coffee for everyone being tired without asking why they needed it to begin with. Cannabis isn't one thing, so why treat it like it is? Another head scratcher. This entire analysis lumps all cannabis use into one big crab basket. Daily medical cannabis use for neuropathy? Toss it in. Weekend recreation edibles? Here you go. Toss it in. One-time experimentation in high school? Throw it in the crab bucket. There's no breakdown by formulation, frequency, route of administration, or even legal status. And yet, conclusions are drawn as if we're dealing with a single uniform pharmaceutical compound. Only one study in the entire review looked at medical cannabis directly. Zongo, just to let you know. And even they relied on a proxy, prescription records, not actual patient usage, dosing, or product details. No distinction between high THC, CBD dominant, other cannabinoids, or balanced formulations. Nothing about smoking versus capsules, edibles, tinctures, or topicals. That's like doing a study on food and trying to link it to cholesterol without asking what people actually ate. So when a meta-analysis doesn't know if you used a gummy, a vape pen, or a suppository, the government in Alabama knows though, how strong can its cardiovascular conclusions really be? Public health trends say otherwise. Here's the thing. If cannabis really were driving a meaningful uptick in cardiovascular events, we'd likely see that play out in the real world data. But instead, the epidemiological landscape is weirdly quiet. In states where cannabis has been legal and widely used for years, we haven't seen a spike in heart attacks, strokes, or ER admissions for cardiac events. No wave of cannabis-induced myocarditis. No surge of stroke among 30-somethings grabbing edibles. In fact, some public health trends move in the opposite direction. Cannabis users often report lower body mass index, reduced alcohol intake, improved insulin sensitivity, and in some cases, better sleep. All factors that arguably protect cardiovascular health. And still, the meta-analysis gives those patterns like little airtime. It's like focusing on potholes in the road and ignoring the entire 4-lane highway built next to them. Mrs. Weedman hates potholes. She always seems to fall in one. Damn, those Chicago roads, Mrs. Weedman.
Terrible.
What this paper actually tells us. Let's give credit where credit is due. The study was ambitious. Pulling this much data is no small feat. And yes, we absolutely should be scrutinizing the long-term cardiovascular effects of all widely used substances, including cannabis. But let's also be real. This paper is not a call for panic. It's a call for better and more research. We need cleaner definitions of exposure, stronger control for confounders, and frankly, some humility about what these kinds of studies can and can't tell us. At best, this paper raises a hand and says, hey, look, let's look deeper. At worst, it's risk-fueling public misunderstanding with premature or poorly contextualized claims. Here's a little laugh. Ready? For a joke.
Okay.
What did the cannabis researcher fail at cooking?
I don't know.
Because they couldn't control for time. THYME. Did you really think it was funny?
No.
Oh, you thought it was bad?
Corny. And the question wasn't quite.
It wasn't quite right.
Framed right.
I know.
Yeah,
I tried.
It's okay.
I'm not a really good.
Oh, did you make it up?
No.
Yeah, you did. Didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Did AI?
No, AI didn't. The article, the person that wrote the article,
made it up. Yeah. It was a little rough.
I wouldn't use AI to write a joke for me. Here, one night and one night only. Mr. Weedman, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all right. I'm not funny either.
You're still laughing.
I think I'm funny.
But you're still laughing.
Yeah,
you didn't laugh about that stupid joke since I told it. So it was funny.
I guess it was pretty funny. I ain't got time for that.
All right. Tell us about these 5 health organizations that support cannabis research. And one shocked you.
Look at my
You didn't think about that one being on there.
Yep. Yeah. So 5 health organizations that support cannabis research. American Cancer Society. Cancer is a beast that comes in many forms and often requires multiple strategies to overcome. The American Cancer Society has supported medical cannabis research since the 1990s. The organization officially supported California's Senate Bill 535 in 1997, which focused on medical cannabis research. SB 535 was controversial, but established a $1 million state research program at the University of California to determine the efficacy of medical cannabis for treating AIDS-related wasting syndrome, glaucoma, and cancer. Currently, though, the American Cancer Society does not take an official stance when it comes to cannabis legislation. Then we have the American Nurses Association, ANA. In June of 2003, the American Nurses Association issued a resolution saying that the organization aims to support the right of patients to have safe access to therapeutic marijuana under appropriate prescriber supervision. The organization added that the needless criminalization of cannabis creates a situation that makes it harder for patients who rely on medical cannabis. In 2006, the American Cannabis Nurses Association was created and gradually helped the ANA warm up to the idea of medical cannabis. In 2023, the American Nurses Association went further and officially recognized cannabis nursing as a specialty nursing practice within the organization. That's pretty cool. And then the American Osteopathic Association. The field of osteopathic medicine often involves many types of alternative therapies as they relate to our overall health and well-being. In 2011, the American Osteopathic Association issued a resolution saying that the organization supports well-controlled clinical studies on the use of marijuana and related cannabinoids for patients who have significant medical conditions. As recently as 2018, they reiterated their stance, announcing that they officially support the review of the Schedule I classification of cannabis at the federal level in order to facilitate advancement in research for health purposes. And Health Canada is a federal institution similar to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and they have been involved in Canada's medical cannabis industry for decades, showing support early on amid the country's path to legalization. Former Health Canada spokesman Dan Mickles told the Ottawa Citizen in 1997 that there is no difference between cannabis and other useful medicines, such as morphine and aspirin, which were originally derived from plants. Health Canada has been heavily involved in regulating medical cannabis in Canada for over 20 years and employs a rigorous tracking system in an attempt to thwart illegal cannabis operations. And we have the National Academy of Sciences Institute of Medicine, or IOM. Researchers associated with the National Academy of Sciences Institute of Medicine published a piece in the National Academy Press in 1999 called Marijuana as Medicine, Assessing the Science Base. In it, they wrote that scientific data indicates the potential therapeutic value of cannabinoid drugs, primarily THC, for pain relief, control of nausea and vomiting, and appetite stimulation. They also recognized the fewer harms of cannabis compared to drugs like opioids, writing that the adverse effects of marijuana use are within the range of effects tolerated for other medications. So, that's 5 organizations that believe research is necessary.
Yeah, maybe they should look into that cardiovascular stuff and get into that research and figure that out and prove it with these.
I think the American Medical Association too has a public stance on cannabis, that they believe in its therapeutic potential. We read about that recently.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I have a middle-aged brain now. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But there are some benefits, though, to daily cannabis use for middle-aged people like us.
Good.
We're on the back 9 of our lives, which I don't mind at all. I would say, would I want to do the front 9 all over again? No. There'd only be a couple things I would change. That would be about it.
Adjustments, little tweaks.
Yes, 100. That's it. Couple of adjustments here and there throughout my life, doing it all over again. You know, but I'm enjoying the back nine. And I know some people aren't in their life, and I apologize. I hope one day you find your back nine club that you like to use. But I am enjoying. It's not always easy, but I am trying to enjoy it. But there are some benefits, though. Fam, here we go. We're circling around a dope topic. The perks of daily low-dose cannabis for middle-aged brain, straight out of Psychology Today by Dr. Gary Wenk. Let's light one up and dive in, Mrs. Weedman. Ready for the cerebral cruise? We're talking real talk for those of you cruising control through the 50s and 60s. Yeah, that's right. Today we blaze through science on daily cannabis and brain health. Cannabis use is skyrocketing among older heads. Since 2015, folks 65 plus doubled their usage from 2.4% to nearly 7% retirees. A straight up quadruple up in the daily use. Also, middle-aged to pre-retirees 50 to 64 rock daily or nearly daily at rates of 34% for women and 39% for men. Also out there, you have to understand the middle-aged moms, soccer moms, baseball moms, volunteered at school doing a lot of stuff like Mrs. Weedman did all throughout the school years. PTA, boosters, not Girl Scouts, but brownies.
Girl Scouts, brownies.
Brownies, both. Volunteering, they are the ones that you need to look after and take care of on the weed side of things. They are a force that when they put those kids to bed, they're looking for something.
Moms.
Yes.
Yeah. So
start reflecting your business towards 50 to 60-year-olds or even 30s and 40-year-old moms. I'd rather them do a 2.5 milligram mint or a gummy or 5 milligram gummy to help take the edge off at the end of the night.
I wish it was normal and acceptable to have had cannabis when we were raising our kids.
Yeah.
It would have helped me. It would have what?
I smoked.
Well, but I didn't. I mean, socially here and there, but it would have been really nice at the end of a long day to have a joint.
Or pop a gummy.
And, yeah. Just chill out for an hour before bed. Ooh, that would have been nice.
and, you know, top reasons for toking. Pain relief, baby. Pain relief. As we get older, we've used our bodies hard. A lot of us aren't easy on our bodies in life. We work hard, we play hard. Right, Ms. Weedman?
Yeah.
That's been my motto for a very long time. So most users say arthritis or chronic pain, injury, and cannabis beats OTC meds for fewer side effects. Middle-aged brains love that low-dose vibe. Unlike the developing teen brain, older brains dig it. Animal studies prove that daily low-dose THC enhances working memory, lowers inflammation, and jazzes up hippocampal neurogenesis, baby brain cells. Brings them back.
Bring them back.
You realize alcohol kills brain cells, but now we're learning that cannabis brings them back. Yeah. I don't forget shit. Right? I got a pretty good memory.
Oh, you have a good memory.
Yeah. I've been smoking weed since I was 13.
I've never had a great memory.
But cannabis is helping.
And that continues.
Oh, man. Middle-aged brains love that low-dose vibe, unlike the developing teen brains we talked about. Human studies mirror this. No cognitive harm and maybe some gains in older medical cannabis users. Brain connections get a boost. A 2022 study on folks 60 to 88 showed stronger functional connectivity between cerebellum and hippocampus for cannabis users versus non-cannabis users. This matters because CB receptors decline with age, leading to inflammation and memory dips. Plant THC, do you hear that, everybody? Plant. There's angels in those leaves. Plant THC helps pick up the slack. Mechanics of the magic. Aging brains lose cannabinoid receptors, boosting inflammation and dampening neurogenesis in the hippocampus. Daily low-dose THC stimulates the receptors still hanging around, flips the switch on inflammation, and wakes up dormant stem cells to grow new neurons. The moderation mantra, a puff is enough. Wenk's lab motto, you don't need huge cessors. A gentle daily puff keeps your cannabis gain beneficial and brain friendly. So here's where Mrs. Weedman comes in. Mrs. Weedman always preaching that moderation. I've been married to you, been with you 31 years. 30 of those years, you've always talked about moderation because Mr. Weedman likes to go to the extreme. Working out, fucking 100% all in, extreme. Eat correct, do this. You call me a task man. I'm just on task every day, 24 hours, right? But here's what Mrs. Weedman says. 80% of the time, do it. Right? 20% of the time, have some fun. Mm-hmm. Moderate yourself because you're going to make yourself crazy. That's what you said to me. You ain't got to spark up a fat blunt. Just a gentle daily puff for those itchy joints or crash in energy. Talking self-care level, therapeutic, no fog, just some flow. So here's the bottom line. Aging brains may actually benefit from consistent microdosing. Working memory, inflammation, connectivity, neurogenesis, all get a gentle boost when done right. Stick to low dose, chew slow, vibe steady. But caution, this ain't a one-size-fits-all, especially for younger folks. Teen brains, still developing. Okay? Be safe out there. Older, you might just be unlocking the inner genius. Pa-pow! Daily cannabis for middle-aged brains might be more than relaxation. It could be a renewal. Keep it balanced. Keep it daily gentle. Let your brain ride the wave. That's pretty good. I like learning about that. I don't feel bad about using cannabis anymore. I'm going to tell people, if you make me feel bad about cannabis, look at this brain. Pop it out and be like, see that brain that grew new neurons. Put it back in, close up shop.
Neurons. New neurons. I got new neurons.
Permanent fucking cherries, pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm fucking still baked.
I'm permanent cherried.
You're permanent out?
Yeah.
You got to go next.
That's okay. I can
you got
read.
this?
I can read.
You got it?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
So I'm going to introduce it, though, to you. Listen, we've talked about this cannabinoid so many times, but I still want you to understand this cannabinoid. It's not just about THC and CBD anymore. There's so much good out there. And this is the mother of all cannabinoids. The mother. The cannabinoid that isn't THC or CBD. What businesses can do to prepare you. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Tell me how you say it.
How do I say what?
That word. The first word.
Cannabinoid?
No.
That's not how you pronounce it?
No, CBG, like the scientific name for CBG.
Oh, cannabigerol.
Yeah. You say cannabigerol?
Yeah.
And I always do the cannabigerol. Like I enunciate, I don't know.
That's why there's CBG.
Yeah. There's a CBG.
CBG.
So cannabigerol, whatever. CBG. It's not just a compound. It is a spectral presence, a paracannabinoid. It shows up early in the life of the cannabis plant before the more famous molecules take shape. It's there at the beginning, then vanishes, transformed into THC, CBD, or CBC. Some say they've seen it, felt its presence, some remain skeptical, and most consumers wouldn't know if it was even there. It barely registers on a certificate of analysis, and yet, wherever phytocannabinoids are found in nature, CBG, or something like it, tends to haunt that scene. We're beginning to see a deeper pattern. CBG-like compounds are turning up in other plants like cacao, echinacea, and black truffles. These aren't just mimics. They may represent a broader family of bioactive molecules that evolution keeps stumbling across and choosing to keep. Cannabinoid science is overdue for a new taxonomy, one that recognizes these compounds as classes, not single chemicals, with CBG perhaps not as a minor member, but as a category-defining origin point. Wow. As researchers, product developers, and the public begin to look beyond THC's highs and CBD's wellness glow, CBG is emerging as a signal in the noise. Below, we explore where CBG is already making a difference, where it's headed, and what cannabis business can do to be prepared. All major cannabinoids begin life as CBGA. the acidic precursor to everything else. Often described as the stem cell of the cannabis biosynthetic pathway, enzymes come later to steer it toward intoxication or something else entirely. CBG is the fork in the road before a plant makes a choice. CBG won't get you high. There's no euphoria or time distortion. In fact, many users say they feel nothing until they realize what's gone. Background anxiety, cognitive fog, physical tension. Studies have been relatively small. So, take these findings with a grain of salt. CBG also interacts with certain adrenergic receptors and particular serotonin receptors, providing effects on focus, memory, and neuroprotection. One study even found that CBG improved verbal recall. CBG has been shown with clinical potential at smaller doses compared to CBD. That means there's potential for leaner product formulations and more efficient therapeutic outcomes. CBG is also non-intoxicating and not associated with psychosis, panic response, or paradoxical effects. Combined with its compatibility across formats like topicals, tinctures, and soft gels, it may be an option for daily use products. And it's already showing up in many products, from infused beverages to pet chews. It stacks well with other compounds and blends into formulas without dominating them. CBG, or molecules belonging to its class, have been detected in the herb Helichrysum ubraculigerum, a flowering South African plant that is smoked for therapeutic reasons, and may have evolved a cannabinoid pathway independently. CBG-like compounds have also been found in other plants. Dozens of potentially related cannabinoid-like compounds are awaiting characterization across the plant kingdom. Evolution tends to repeat what works, also known as convergent evolution, suggesting CBG may not be a cannabis fluke, but rather part of a broader biochemical language that nature keeps speaking.
That was a lot.
Whoa.
They're speaking your language?
Over my head.
So not speaking your language?
I might have to read that a few times. I can read it, but it's not connected.
They don't speak your language.
I don't know what you're talking about. However, CBG is still waiting on large, long-term clinical trials in diverse human populations. Most data comes from rodents or small controlled studies. That's not a dismissal, but a reminder that we're just at the beginning. We also haven't fully mapped CBG's activity upon opioid receptor signaling, which leaves a gap in our understanding of its potential in pain management or addiction support. Could it modulate withdrawal or potentiate other therapies? We don't know. We're only beginning to explore the molecular constellation of its chemotypic anchor. CBG's future won't be built on anecdotes. Companies that lead the way by generating a scientific evidence base will secure a defensible advantage in different markets. CBG invites a whole new product category for sober, curious, mental health-aware users. We should anticipate waves of synthesized and or biosynthesized CBG compounds to hit the markets too, which could be good and bad.
Good or bad?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I don't necessarily want the synthetic. There's no need for it if there's natural.
Right.
But in the world of pharmacology, everything has to be accurate and repeatable.
Right.
So a cannabis plant can't be 100% accurate and the same every time.
Right.
So to create consistencies, they synthesize, they make a synthetic mirrored formula, right? They create something.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about that, but I mean, if it chemically does the same thing to your body, I guess, I don't know.
Synthetically?
But why?
You don't need to.
Right?
Well, because
it's just has to do with dosing and medicine and formulations and the accuracies that they need of everything.
Yes.
That they can't get from a plant every single time it won't be the same.
Right.
But maybe they can figure out a way to extract from the natural plant and separate all of the different cannabinoids.
Right.
And then like make concentrates out of each of those cannabinoids and then add them back together. So it's still a natural product that's broken down and then reformulated at an equal dose.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it sounds really good. I feel like I sound really smart right now. At least I'm telling myself that. Wow, Susan, that's really smart. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
She got permanent cherry, everybody. Or yeah, right? Permanent cherries. Mm-hmm. You got cherry permanent.
You got something to say about it?
No, I got
nothing.
Fight? No. No, you might win this time.
I'll fight you.
I can't see so good. Does cannabis help or hurt people with borderline personality disorder? We're going to find out right now, Ms. Weedman. BPD. Ms. Weedman, I'm going to spit her drink all over the microphone.
I'm feeling like I have a different personality right now. But it's because of the cannabis.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, fam.
Hey.
You all ready to dive deep into something real?
Yeah.
How cannabis affects folks with BPD. It ain't fluff. It's about emotional highs and lows, impulsivity, therapy, and maybe a little green relief. What is BPD? Is intense emotionally instability, impulsivity, and chaotic relationships. It brings mood swings, fear of abandonment, emptiness, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts. Definitely not a casual struggle. Potential gains from cannabis. Endocannabinoid system, especially CB1 and CB2 receptors in the amygdala.
Oblonga.
Amygdala. AMYGDALA. I'm Amy G Dalla.
There's a song about it. Oblonga dabba dabba.
I'm just gonna call her Amy G Dalla. Amy G Dalla. Hippocampus hypothalamus is heavily involved in emotions, stress, and regulations.
Oblongata.
Some scientists believe boosting ECS with cannabinoids could stabilize emotional ecosystems. CBD heavy low with THC might be the key. Anecdotal wins. People with BPD report less impulsivity, calmer mood swings, better sleep, and reduced rage using cannabis. Cited in forms and reviews. Early promise. Though no major clinical trials BPD yet, studies in anxiety, schizophrenia, and emotional dysregulation, all overlapping symptoms. Hint, cannabinoids could help. Risk and reality check. Self-medication pitfall. Cannabis is often a coping tool for impulsivity and stress, but BPD's innate impulsivity can trigger overuse or dependency. Psychosis risk. Heavy THC use may worsen psychosis or amplify disassociation in vulnerable individuals. Very low dose. I mean...
Medulla oblongata.
But that's not how it's spelled here.
Oh.
It's called Amy Alagaldala. AMYGDALA. I know Abdullah Oblongata. Abdullah. I know Paula Abdullah. So, where was I? Addiction. What is that word? Jeez. Comorbidity.
Can't help you.
High correlation between BPD and cannabis use disorder. A real red flag. Lack of clinical trials. No robust randomized controlled studies in BPD. Only theories based on ECS activity and cross-disorder insights. Final roll-up. BPD equals emotional roller coaster plus impulsive behaviors plus high reactivity. Cannabinoids could help calm the ride, but evidence is early stage and theoretical. CBD is a little bit greater than THC. Watch dosage, prevent overuse. Must complement professionally therapy and mental health support. Cannabis isn't a standalone cure. Caution, psychosis risk, dependence, potency. Proceed smartly, stay lifted but wise, and remember, weed with intention, not avoidance. Weed with intention, not avoidance. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to say something.
Yeah.
I haven't been this baked in quite a minute.
Like wacky.
It's been
like
a
fun wacky.
Yes, it's a very good giggly.
I feel like I could go run around the block a couple times.
I feel like I want to go see a comedy show and sit there and laugh for like fucking 2 hours. So well done, Ralph Wiley. I'm giving you some props here. And here's something. I met with we'll just call him, let's call him
Tequila.
I met with Ralph Wiley to pick up the weed for the show. And we were discussing some of the strains that he's done in the past and some he's had tested and stuff like that. And he was showing me, he goes, listen, you got to understand something. A lot of my strains, they have THCA. They might have 20% or 24% THCA, but my Delta 9 THC usually runs high 2%. It's very unheard of, especially in the dispensary market where, your THCA might be 28, 30, 32%, but your THC Delta 9 might only be 0.091% or sometimes touching 1%, So his decarboxylation, he's getting almost close to 2 to 3% of pure THC in his bud. That is fan-fucking-tastic. You don't see that. Look at all of your back of your jars or whoever you grow your weed or test your weed. Look at your ratio between THCA to THC. And see why you might not getting as high as much as having more THC.
That's like a focus of his grow.
Yeah.
That's how he
kills it, knocks it out of the park. You can't even see so good. What are you talking about?
But there's other cannabinoids in there too, because there's a lot of like very uplifting.
But I looked at some of his terpene profiles too. A lot of them are one of his favorites is caryophyllene. So he has high caryophyllene in a lot of his strains. Myrcene, he's got a moderate amount, but he had a lot of apinine and limonene in some of these strains that he was showing me. And in some of his other strains, his Kush strains, he had some linalool and stuff like that, some of the more downer terpenes. But it's very impressive to see his Delta 9 THC so high in his dried flower. It's very impressive. And he was showing me, I was like, damn, dude, that's fucking really good. And that's why I believe I'm so high right now. And it's still lasting. We've been going for 56 minutes and I'm still pretty good.
Still pretty big.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. I love it. Thanks, Ralph Wiley.
And we're like only a third of a joint.
Yeah, I know. We didn't even smoke the whole thing yet.
Is that like a 1 gram?
Yeah. So snoring. I don't snore. Very rare do I snore. When I drink liquor and I pass out, I snore. But I think everybody does. Yeah. But I'm not a snorer. And, but it says here, you don't snore when you fall asleep using cannabis. Yeah. This medical study shows this. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
All right. Sleep apnea, a condition that affects millions of people worldwide, has long been a nighttime nemesis. Characterized by interrupted breathing during sleep, this disorder not only disturbs rest, but is linked to serious health issues like heart disease, stroke, and chronic fatigue. While continuous positive airway pressure, or CPAP, machines and lifestyle changes remain standard treatments, a surprising new contender has entered the sleep health arena: cannabis. A recent survey conducted by the National Sleep Foundation in collaboration with independent researchers has shed new light on an unconventional remedy: cannabis use. The results are generating buzz. A significant number of sleep apnea sufferers report improved sleep quality, reduced snoring, and fewer apnea episodes after using cannabis-based products and cannabis strains found to help sleep apnea. The idea that cannabis can help with sleep isn't new. Anecdotal evidence and early research have long suggested that certain compounds in cannabis, particularly cannabinoids like THC and CBD, can influence sleep patterns. THC is known for its sedative effects, while CBD may reduce anxiety, another common contributor to poor sleep. However, what's new and exciting is the specific focus on obstructive sleep disorder, or sleep apnea, and cannabis. This disorder causes the throat muscles to relax intermittently during sleep, blocking the airway and leading to pauses in breathing. Sufferers often snore loudly, gasp for air, and feel exhausted during the day despite spending enough time in bed. Until now, the idea that cannabis could help with a mechanically driven disorder like sleep apnea has been met with skepticism, but this latest survey is changing minds. The survey, conducted over 6 months and involving more than 3,000 self-identified sleep apnea patients across the United States, asked participants about their cannabis usage, their sleep quality, and their apnea symptoms. Here's what stood out. 61% of cannabis users reported improved sleep quality compared to 34% of non-users. 41% reported a reduction in snoring frequency and intensity after consistent cannabis use. Among those using cannabis-based products specifically before bedtime, over 30% noticed fewer apnea episodes, as measured by wearable sleep monitors or partner observation. Interestingly, THC-dominant products showed greater efficacy for apnea-related symptoms than CBD-only products. These results suggest a meaningful correlation between cannabis consumption and symptom relief, prompting researchers to call for more controlled clinical trials. While the exact mechanisms remain under study, several hypotheses are emerging. One, that muscle relaxation and airway stability are part of the benefits. Some researchers believe that cannabinoids might help modulate muscle tone in the upper airway, reducing the collapsibility of the throat during sleep. This would directly address the root cause of obstructive sleep apnea. The next is a deeper, more restorative sleep. Cannabis, especially THC, has been shown to increase slow-wave sleep, or deep sleep, which is the most restorative phase. This can help individuals feel more rested, even if their apnea episodes persist. The third is reduction of arousal threshold. THC may rise the threshold at which the brain arouses from sleep due to breathing interruptions. While this might sound counterintuitive, it can prevent the repeated micro-awakenings that make sleep apnea so exhausting. And finally, for its anti-inflammatory effects. Both THC and CBD have anti-inflammatory properties, which may help reduce inflammation in the airways and improve airflow during sleep. So despite these promising findings, cannabis is not a one-size-fits-all solution. The survey participants were self-selected and self-reporting, and this can lead to biased results. Moreover, cannabis affects individuals differently depending on their tolerance, dosage, strain, and method of consumption. Dr. Emily Carter, a sleep medicine specialist at UCLA, cautions against replacing proven therapies like CPAP with cannabis without consulting a physician. The data is encouraging, but we need randomized clinical trials to understand dosage, safety, and long-term effects, she explains. Cannabis might be a useful adjunct, but it is not yet a replacement. There are also potential downsides. Chronic cannabis use can lead to dependence, cognitive impairment, and reduced REM sleep, a crucial stage for memory and mood regulation. Additionally, smoking cannabis can irritate the respiratory system, a serious consideration for individuals already dealing with difficulty breathing. Another complication is the patchwork legality of cannabis across states and countries. While medical marijuana is legal in over 30 U.S. states and recreational use is allowed in several, it remains illegal under federal law. This creates a legal gray area for patients seeking cannabis for sleep apnea. Some survey respondents admitted to hesitating about discussing cannabis use with their doctors, fearing judgment or legal repercussions. This highlights the need for more open dialogue between patients and healthcare providers and for clearer guidelines from regulatory bodies. On a positive note, the survey has prompted interest from sleep researchers and cannabis scientists alike. Several research institutions, including Stanford and Johns Hopkins, are reportedly planning controlled studies to explore how cannabinoids can be optimized for sleep apnea therapy. Pharmaceutical companies are also watching closely. Synthetic cannabinoids like dronabinol have already been tested in small trials, showing mild improvements in apnea symptoms. These trials could pave the way for FDA-approved cannabinoid-based treatments tailored specifically for sleep disorders. In the meantime, sleep apnea patients intrigued by cannabis should proceed with caution. Products should be sourced from reputable dispensaries with a focus on controlled dosing and clear labeling. The survey's message is clear. For some, cannabis may offer a welcome respite from restless nights and relentless snoring caused by apnea. While it's far from a definitive cure, it may become a valuable part of a broader sleep health strategy. As research continues, the idea of treating sleep disorders with cannabis may become less fringe and more mainstream. For now, the best approach is an informed one, guided by science, medical advice, and personal experience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good article.
That was good.
Yeah. Political, state, and business news. Illinois May cannabis sales reach highest month total this year. The Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation announced today, well, not today, a couple days ago, that recreational cannabis sales total for May 2025 reached $149,753,845.02, topping all other monthly sales totals this year. Illinois dispensaries sold 4,482,586 cannabis items in May of 2025, less than April's record-breaking 4,514,562 items sold. Of course, it's 420 month. I mean, the sales are heavy, 40% off. I mean, more items are being sold that day. Less money being made, but more items being sold. It's volume day. In-state resident sales and out-of-state resident sales also reach yearly highs. In-state resident sales in May of 2025 totaled $118,410,709. Out-of-state sales, $31,343,135. That's a lot for out-of-state residents. Thank you, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Kentucky. We appreciate those tax dollars. Now get your states legal, will you? Chicago PD just flipped the script. They won't search your ride solely because they smell raw weed. No more sniffs, snatch, stops without real cause. Reformers say it's justice. CBD now needs extra facts before a search. Chicago toke safer, bros. Spark smart. Stay chill out there in Chicagoland. New poll in Utah, 53% of voters now support recreational weed, with strong 77% backing medical cannabis. Big shift from past. But top GOP leaders are still stuck in old school mode, opposing recreational legalization. Utah's green wave is real, but politics ain't budging yet. Michigan cannabis sales dipped for the fourth straight month, dropping from $1.34 billion to $1.31 billion. I still am not upset about that at all.
Billion.
Yeah, B. They're gonna do over $3 million this year. May, first year-over-year decline since legalization. Oversupply driving prices way down. Cheaper flower. Yeah, a friend of mine went and got fucking an ounce of weed for like $30.
Like buy one, get 5 free.
Oh, there's edibles out there. You get
like 1,000
You
grams.
get 200 milligram packets. You could buy 6 of them. 1,200 milligrams. You know what the price was? $25. Oh my God. Tax is only fucking 13% there or 12% there. Crazy. Time for market pause, though, champs. Also in Michigan, Michigan's cannabis regulators just told the industry, if you want change, lobby your lawmakers now. Oversupply drops, illicit hemp, THC. It's a mess. Time to speak up. Grower Squad, your voice matters in Lansing. But here's the crazy thing. A company is leaving Michigan. I'm not going to mention their name. No, it doesn't even matter. 30 stores, 4 cultivations, just massive jobs. Partnered with another big brand out of California there. All their stores they're pulling out. A lot of jobs being lost. Crazy.
Nobody's buying them?
Nope.
They're just like shutting down completely.
Hemorrhaging money in Michigan. You can't make no money. I mean, it's all volume. You know who's making a lot of money? Those fucking stores right on the border of fucking Michigan over there in New Buffalo. Yeah, I think you got an article you could talk about that, right? Yeah.
I do.
Crazy. But they're still going to do $3.6 billion. Like I've always said, this isn't a get rich thing this is for everybody to make a good living on. One day will you understand that? We don't want mass conglomerates owning this fucking industry. This is an industry for everybody to make money. If you're doing $3.6 billion in the state of Michigan and your stores, the owner and the employees are not making a good living, something's wrong.
My understanding is that Michigan just has so much concentration of dispensaries
in some areas, yeah,
that it's making it hard for the the competition between dispensaries, because they're so concentrated,
right,
is intense.
Right.
And so one is trying to outsell the other and get a bigger stake in the game.
You can go to Michigan, go to 5 different stores and get 5 different deals that are all better than the last one.
Yeah.
Like you can go to one store and get your flour.
It's putting the smaller businesses that can't thrive on those net profits.
Not even just a small.
It's putting them out.
You had a major MSO that's in like 5 other states.
You can only operate that for so long when your margins are so tight.
Yeah. It's like grocery store margins now out there. Seriously.
I would say worse.
Yeah. So, one signature from the Attorney General could shift marijuana right onto Schedule 1. No need for Congress, HHS, or rulemaking hoops. It's written in the Controlled Substance Act under S811D1. Legal chaos. Sure, lawsuits likely, but tax relief and rescheduling benefits kick in instantly. Congress got to step up for the long-term stability. Time to hustle, industry. The latest from Michigan, though. Wait, scratch that. This one's Berkshire Eagle Juice. Sustainable cannabis retail isn't about slashing prices. Racing to the bottom isn't smart. It's collapse, like we just talked about, says Meg Sanders. Shops chasing rock bottom deals are bleeding margins, risking quality and trust. The real move? Green, sustainable models. Think eco packaging, local roots, community vibes. Cheap ain't a plan. It kills the market. Hence what's going on in Michigan. You know? Mm-hmm. AI is flexing hard in cannabis cultivation. Smart sensors, machine learning, and computer visions are juicing yields by up to 10 to 20%, slashing waste, energy cost, and spotting pest early. Farms are morphing into tech havens, but small growers might feel the squeeze from high integration cost. Bottom line, tech meets terps. Big power move for the game. Grow smarter, not harder. FDA is warning against gas station heroin. Remember I told you I would tell everyone about this a couple episodes ago? Well, they're warning about this. Unapproved tianeptine, tianeptine drinks sold at gas stations under the name like Zaza, Neptune's Fix, and Pegasus. They mimic opioids, spiking poison control calls by 525%, risking seizures, coma, and even death. Don't sip sketchy supplements. Grab your Mountain Dew instead. Haha, I'm just kidding. Oof. Stay smart and stay safe. The name of this that's getting people, though, is tianeptine, tianeptine.
Wow.
And it's not even like...
It's just a synthetic stimulant.
And some states are finally illegaling this, but there's no... It's not on any schedule. Like, the federal government doesn't even know it's a thing.
Like someone just made it in their bathtub?
Probably.
Ugh.
Yeah. You could probably buy it from some market overseas and have it shipped here, and mass bags of it, and then just make it in a drink. And then you get all fucked up like heroin. That's why I call it a gas station heroin. You like fucking fade out.
Wow.
Don't take that shit.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself.
Montana governor vetoed HB 952 on June 19th. Tribes can't negotiate their own cannabis regs. Calls it unnecessary and duplicative. That means tribal nations stay limited, one grow site, tiny canopy from far from home turf. Sovereignty vibes got blocked, so tribal cannabis potential stays blocked. Big politics, bigger boundary. Keep eyes on this one, fam. A fresh shift pulse survey of 1.5 million U.S. shift workers shows cannabis retail staff top of the happiness charts. You need to talk to some of the people I know in the industry. 92% say they feel good or amazing, beating cafes, catering, dentistry, and more. Credit autonomy, culture, and flexibility, even amid banking hassles and federal challenges. Look like working with weed ain't just chill. It's a feel-good work. Spread good vibes, not just flower. Now, when I read this article and I read that, I've been in the industry for like 5 years now, going on 6. And, I've seen people come and go quick. I see people going from one job to another. But I also see a lot of happy people that love what they do. Mm-hmm. I do. Mm-hmm. But I've also met a lot of people that aren't happy at what they do. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame because a lot of people, love cannabis. But it's a lot of shit you got to deal with, and got to put that smile on every day, even when you don't want to in this industry. So it's just like any other industry now. You know, you got retail, you got buyers, you got growers, you got salespeople. Everybody's got to fucking get along to make everybody happy in this industry, or else you'll be fucking miserable. You know, and this is what cannabis is not supposed to be about. Misery. It's supposed to be about, it's, yes, profit and margin now, I know. So that takes the vibe and the coolness out of it, right? But
it doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to. We love this plant. We love flower, and I see a lot of happy people out there. So keep on smiling. Keep on going out there. I know it's not always easy, but try to do the best you can. Have some fucking fun. Fun for the people. Ohio just hit pause on SB 56 before summer break. No THC cap, dispensary limits, or public smoking rules yet. Reverend Stewart says they're taking the season off. Thank God. House Speaker isn't budging until House priorities land. Voters said yes in 2023, but lawmakers are cooling it. Catch the update and keep that chill, Vipers. Now over to you, Mrs. Weedman.
Yes, I've got more political, state, and business news. New Buffalo, Michigan, just earned the crown of Weed City, USA. Crane's newspaper says its Exit 1 corridor is the hottest cannabis market in the country, thanks to cheap prices, I-94 traffic, casino tourists, and strict Indiana laws. 20 dispensaries in a 1-mile area, packed lots. The Michigan regulators cannot keep up, as we were just talking about. Senator Tom Tillis just declared marijuana prohibition lost the debate. He says it's high time to regulate weed like alcohol and tobacco, with federal oversight matching state laws, curbing cartel growth, and standardizing safety. No more federal vacuum. USDA and FDA frameworks could drop in quick. Is this politics catching up with the green wave? Kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what, though? Now he's leaving Congress. He's not going to rerun. Oh. Why don't you fight for this fucking last few years if you really feel this way, Tom?
Yeah. Timing. Great timing. Yeah. Senator Rand Paul just dropped the Hemp Act, aiming to triple the federal THC limit for hemp from 0.3% to a 1% total. This move targets industry concerns over testing burdens and inconsistent state laws. Meanwhile, the House is pushing a bill that could effectively ban most consumable hemp products. It's a classic clash of regulation versus freedom. Stay tuned as this battle unfolds, because it's going to be a wild ride. Also, Senator Rand Paul just blasted a new GOP-backed hemp ban in the federal ag spending bill, warning it would completely destroy the industry, causing the end of CBD oils and Delta-8. Here's some big news. The House just voted to let VA doctors recommend medical marijuana to veterans and to support psychedelics research. This means vets can access state-approved cannabis programs, and the VA can study psychedelics for PTSD and other conditions. It's a win for the veterans' health and a step toward broader acceptance of alternative therapies. Stay tuned as this progresses. Change is in the air. Good change. How about this news? A big move by the FDA. They've submitted a plan to include hemp-derived cannabinoids in the federal adverse health event reporting system. This means if you're falling off after that CBD gummy or Delta-8 vape, your experience could help shape future safety guidelines. The proposal's now at the White House for approval, with public comments open until July 25th. It's a step toward better regulation and consumer protection in the hemp space, so stay informed and stay safe. Minnesota hits the headlines with cannabis dispensaries finally opening soon. The state's first non-tribal weed shops could open by the end of the summer of 2025, so coming up soon, with nearly 700 micro-businesses getting the green light. But hold up. Supply shortages might mean limited stock and higher prices at first. So if you're planning a trip to the new dispensaries, pack a little patience, a little extra patience, and cash. Big moves in Oregon. The Oregon Cannabis Cafe Coalition is pushing to legalize cannabis social lounges. They've already collected over 1,400 signatures, well past the 1,000 needed to move forward. Next up, gathering around 120,000 more to get this on the November 2026 ballot. If it passes, micro-businesses could legally host cannabis consumption spaces and events. Stay tuned. Some big news out of Wisconsin. A recent Marquette Law School poll shows that 67% of voters support legalizing marijuana. Governor Tony Evers is optimistic, predicting reform if Democrats gain control of the legislature. With this growing public support, it looks like Wisconsin might be the next state to go green. So look out as this Badger state heats up. A solid win in Nebraska. A Lancaster County judge just tossed out a lawsuit aiming to overturn the state's medical cannabis law. Former state senator John Kuhn argued the law violated federal regulations, but Judge Susan Strong ruled he lacked standing to sue. With over 70% of Nebraskans voting in favor, this decision keeps the green light shining. Looks like Nebraska's medical cannabis journey is full steam ahead. Yay for Nebraska. Arkansas just got real about hemp. A federal court gave the green light to the state's ban on intoxicating hemp products like Delta 8 and 9 THC. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed the bill in 2023, and now it's in full effect. Attorney General Tim Giffen called it a win for common sense and the rule of law. Whatever. New York City's cannabis scene is buzzing with new dispensaries and events, from rooftop lounges to art-infused smoke sessions. The city's embracing cannabis culture like never before. Whether you're a seasoned smoker or a curious newbie, there's something for everyone. So if you're near the Big Apple, roll on through and experience the green wave firsthand. Heck, why not fire up an apple bowl while you're at it? In California, 37% of adults now say they use cannabis, and 58% of those people say they smoke daily. That's 1 in 3 blazing regularly. Whether you're a casual toker or a daily dabber, Cali's green scene is strong. Just remember, roll smart and enjoy the ride. So, Mr. Weedman, I think you've got some international news.
Not yet.
No?
Still going on political
More
state business
political
news.
state and business?
One more.
Bring it.
California lawmakers just dropped the ball. No tax relief in this year's budget, so 15% cannabis excise tax jumps to 19% as of today, July 1st.
Wow.
They lied to you. Last couple episodes ago, I told you they were going to not raise it. Yeah. Okay.
They did.
Trust your government, everybody. They really fucking have your best interest there. All of them. Not just fucking California's government. All of them. The industry warned it might hurt legal operators and fuel the illicit market. But here's something even funnier, though. Governor Newsom backing a freeze, but Senate leadership blocked it. Because he's trying he wanted that tax. He knew what he was doing, but he's trying to make himself look good because he wants to run for president. So he's trying to say, for the people, no, I'm freezing it. You didn't. Keep your eyes on this. Big choices ahead. Stay informed out there, Cali. Stay strong. U.S. rolled through 316 million pre-rolls last year. Haven't I said for a few years now? Like 3 years now, pre-rolls was like
the way to go.
Yeah, no, listen to me.
Yeah, they do.
They must have, because they sold 316 million pre-rolls last year, racking up a staggering $3.1 billion market, about $10 per joint, and capturing over 15% of total cannabis sales. Brands like Jeter, Stizzy, infused joints, just so much craziness when it comes to all these smaller companies, dog walkers, Lowell Farms, and everyone that does pre-rolls now. Mm-hmm. Pre-roll culture is booming. Solid proof that convenience, Mrs. Weedman, is what? King. Convenience is king. Grab and go items.
Cash.
Grab and
cannabis.
go items. Legendary Mike Tyson leading a powerhouse crew of Kevin Durant, Allen Iverson, Des Bryant, Ricky Williams, calling on the president to reschedule cannabis to a Schedule 3. No, we don't want that. Decriminalize, guys. Get with it. Grant clemency for nonviolent offenses, yes. Fix banking access, yes. Tyson was fired up. Cannabis isn't heroin and wants reform now. It's big league advocacy straight from the ring to D.C. Keep your eyes peeled, squad. You might get a left hook from the tie. Heads up. In New Mexico, starting today, July 1st, the cannabis excise tax jumps from 12 to 13%, the final of annual 1-point hikes through 2030. Businesses also got to report medical cannabis GRT deductions with a new code. Tip, licensings, sign up for real estate time, tax alerts, and get the mobile ID ready. Your legal highs still hit, just cost a little bit more now in New Mexico. Man, we're going to see taxes going up on cannabis like we've never seen before. Here in Illinois, as of today, gas went up. Gas tax in Illinois is fucking ridiculous. It's now 42 cents a gallon is taxed. Gas here in Illinois, they just raised it another penny. Fucking ridiculous. They just raised taxes on cigarettes, Zins, and vapes 47%. Yeah.
Wait, what?
47%. They just raised the tax up to 47%.
For a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
So if those smokes are $10, you're paying 47% tax on that?
Crazy.
Like Zoli.
Draft, if you're online betting, I think bet over $20,000 now, they charge you like,
it's like, look here, all you heathens,
$20 or something.
Anything that you do that we consider bad,
right?
You're gonna pay a penalty.
They can't go any higher. They can't go any higher on weed. They're already doing $470 million.
So
yeah, they can't. If they go any higher on weed, people are going to revolt. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous, especially the gas tax. People need gas to get around.
Yeah.
And now that you all hate electric cars again,
jeez.
You're all on the electric car. Fucking, you loved them for a minute. Now you hate them because the person that's making them.
Right.
Right.
They're
so
bad,
then you raise it up. Gas. That's one thing we all need the most. You know, many cars are in fucking Illinois.
Well, and there's a lot of people who don't have the afford gas. Not having money for gas could keep them from getting to work.
Right.
It needs to be affordable.
Gas in Chicago is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I don't know how people in Chicago, not even just in downtown. I'm talking about the
everywhere,
the area, all the city of Chicago, all the communities around Chicago. I don't know how they afford gas. It's ridiculous what they charge for gas in Chicago. Especially in all the poor communities here in the South Side. What I see off of the highway, what they charge for gas is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Sorry, I went on a little rant there. I digress. Former DOJ lawyer says the big cannabis industry lawsuit, Cannabis Provisions vs. Garland, has zero chance of even reaching the Supreme Court. First Circuit unanimously rejected it. No bookings for SCOTUS. It aimed to challenge Study 1 status at 280E tax burden, but flamed out hard. Not the fight moves to Congress and reschedule, and courtroom gambit failed. Lobby time begins, everybody. Researchers are eyeing hemp-based composites for future spaceships, Mrs. Weedman. Strong like fiberglass, biodegradable, radiation shielding, and perfect for Mars habitats, made with hempcrete and regolith. Even ESA is testing 100% biosourced spacecraft material. Space tech meets sustainability. Welcome to the green space age. We're going to be hemping out. It's going to be amazing. Good. See, what did I say? Hemp will save the world one day.
Yeah.
It's going to be in outer space. It'll be great. Independent cannabis operators versus MSOs.
Yeah.
Consumers don't walk the talk. Right?
That's right.
Consumers don't walk the talk.
This is the truth.
It's fucking crazy. Tell us about Ms. Weedman.
Yeah. As cannabis businesses strive to establish brand loyalty, they're learning that consumer purchasing habits don't always align with their stated preferences. Tricky. A recent survey by California-based medical marijuana telehealth platform NugMD reveals that although consumers indicate a desire to support independent cannabis businesses, even if it means paying a premium, price and potency often win the battle for their money. The survey of 602 marijuana consumers asked, would you pay a premium for cannabis that's cultivated, distributed, and sold by small independent businesses as opposed to large multi-state operators? More than half of respondents to the NugMD's cannabis consumer poll said they would pay a premium, and 41% said they would consider it, while only 6% of those surveyed said that they would not pay a premium. Although consumers indicated they would pay a premium for products produced by smaller independent companies, when asked what's most important to them while shopping for marijuana products, 29% said price, and 37% said price selection, according to Nug MD. Andrew Graham, head of communications for Nug MD, said the company's survey shows that independent marijuana operators have an edge in competitive markets if their branding is strong. Big marijuana can learn from the little guys, but the poll is also instructive for MSOs. He says, cannabis consumers are willing to pay a premium for products that are local and independent and of too much corporate influence, similar to, and they're independent of too much corporate influence, similar to a farm-to-table restaurant model that works so well in many places, Graham said. If MSOs can convince consumers that their farms kind of, in that premise, then they can give customers what they want while also potentially capturing large margins. Consumers want products that offer a sense of identity and purpose beyond mere functionality. I think the survey responses speak to overall consumer desire, that you don't want to get a homogenized commodity. They want something behind the branding, said attorney Orrin Bitton, co-chair of the Marijuana and Hemp Industry Group at a Los Angeles-based law firm. No one necessarily developed deep brand loyalty. While there's a clear desire for brands that resonate on a deeper level, achieving lasting customer loyalty is an elusive goal for many companies. Overall, what I've seen is price and potency as the driving forces, Bitton said. Anecdotally, people are loyal to brands, but overall, it's who's the cheapest and who's the strongest. There's been a push for low-dose products and targeting consumers who are willing to pay a little bit more and don't want the strongest thing out there. Avis Bulbulyan, CEO of California-based cannabis consulting firm Siva, said that while consumers say that they would pay a premium for marijuana from independent businesses, the reality is that they purchase products at more affordable price points. People would choose to support a smaller business, but convenience and self-interest always overrides it, he said. Bulbulyan also notes that consumers don't know the difference between MSOs and mom-and-pop marijuana businesses. Yes.
I was thinking the whole time when I was reading that.
Like industry insiders do. If you're looking at general cannabis consumers, they're going to be more interested in what they're getting for their money versus who they're supporting, Bulbulyan said. Consumers might be price conscious, but they're also more educated than they've been in the past, and they demand higher quality marijuana, says Caleb Counts, CEO and co-founder of Connected Cannabis Company, a California-based commercial cultivator. What they care about is the highest quality for the best value. People are willing to pay a premium for the highest quality, he says, when he spoke at MJ BizCon last December. And then I kind of noted, I know I still feel like the value and the THC are what people shop for. That's what I hear most often.
Yep.
MSOs secured most of the licenses in states with limited business permits, so they didn't have to grow the highest quality cannabis, he said. But that's starting to change, and now they're partnering with smaller operators to grow the cannabis they sell, Counts noted. Connected Cannabis partnered with the MSO True Leaf Cannabis Corporation in Florida, where the cost of a license is prohibitively high. They either have to drop prices or raise the quality, and that's why they're partnering with brands like ourselves, Counts said. Market by market, it's starting to break down. People are producing a higher quality product more efficiently than what's out there now. So,
very interesting.
Yeah.
The big thing was, I was thinking this when I found the article and read it and sends it over to you, and just knowing that most people, I would say about 80% of the people don't know what an MSO is.
Yeah, they don't know the difference.
Multi-state operator. And then there's vertically integrated, where they own dispensaries and cultivation, just in case if you're a new listener.
And there's a lot of people
new to the industry. There's
that certain category of people who really do care about the brand, and they're willing to pay more for a product that they like the philosophy of the brand and the company, and they're all about the company ethos and all of that.
Right.
And there are people that will pay that premium, but there's also people that really believe in that, but don't have the affordability to buy it.
Right.
And those people are looking for value. And that's I would say the most common shopper.
Gotcha.
Is value, right? I mean, everyone has a budget, and not everyone's budget is high. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. I get it.
I think we say that we want that high quality.
Yeah.
We want the highest quality we can get for our dollar.
True.
You're
a shopper. You're a better shopper than me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also a deal shopper too, though. You like your deals, right?
No, I like values, like a good value.
There you go, for a good deal.
I don't like to buy something that I don't feel is worth the price.
Right. No, you like quality.
I like quality, but I also don't like sticker price.
No, you like nuggets.
Yeah.
As we call them in his house, nuggets.
I want to negotiate.
Well, that's the cannabis industry right now as a whole when it comes to pricing, and it's all about pricing. All about pricing. We've trained the shoppers to look for the red tag, blue tag, green tag, whatever tag is on the menu online. Because 67% of all shopping is done online now in Illinois anyway. I think it's like on average to like 60, like 55-50%.
And people are just stopping in to pick up their product.
Right. You walk in, you walk out, the convenience of it all, and they go online, they do their own research and send it in, go pick it up. Send it in, go pick it up. They don't even talk. They just go into the line waiting for them. Online orders. You walk in, show your ID, walk into the line, it's already paid for. Pick my shit up and I'm fucking out the door.
Your bag.
I'm done.
67%?
All shopping is done online now in Illinois.
That's cool.
I think the average is like 55% though, maybe throughout the country. I'm not 100% sure. So something I have to look up. But yeah, here in Illinois, it's crazy. It's like you had to have a good online presence.
Yeah.
And have a good. That's why you have to have the tags on when you're looking at the dispensaries and when they're showcasing brands and on their menu. They have different sales days for different brands, and people know those brands they like, and they go right to that fucking website that day and place their fucking order because they know Wednesdays might be fucking this brand's sale day, or this dispensary is doing 25% 30% off for Medical Mondays. So because there's only 52 stores here in Illinois. That do med. So, but a lot of the just rec stores offer 30% discount on Medical Mondays, they call it. So you get the medical discount to get med patients to not have to drive maybe to another town over because it's med there. Because med patients want their fucking 2% tax, and that's why you become a med patient. It's in the state, tax is only 2% compared to fucking rec where you're paying as high as up to 37%. Ugh.
Literally only 2%?
Unless the city has a tax on there for you too, but most of the time it's 2%. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I've had my med card since 2018. International news. Thailand Supreme Court just reversed a lower ruling. Thailand. What did I say? How long have I been saying this? Don't what, Mrs. Weedman?
I don't know.
Don't fuck it up.
Yes.
Thailand, right?
Oh, yeah. They fucked it up.
Thank you.
What? Like what? Why? Why?
Thailand Supreme Court just reversed a lower ruling keeping a cannabis-derived substances illegal. 2 people were busted smuggling its hidden in dried mangoes, and now there's a new legal loophole. Thailand's cannabis hype just hit a roadblock. Tourism and the green biz might feel the freeze. Keep your eyes on this. Sticky, dicky, icky rules ahead. And I will discuss more on the next episode about some of the rules that were changed and stuff. Just crazy. You fucked it up, Thailand. And I won't say the people fucked it up. The new people they put in power fucked it up. Ugh. It wasn't harming you, Mr. President over there or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to call him. All I know is he fucked it up for those, man. You're talking about $1 billion industry.
It was like a whole new revenue, like a whole new industry.
Yeah. Just down the shit.
Their tourism
now you have to have a med card.
Yeah.
And you have to get a med card again. And now fucking everything's going to turn med. So there's going to be all these businesses going out of business.
Wow.
Unless you're
going There's a whole economy.
Unless you're selling out the back door to all the tourists. Shh.
Yeah, but that's dangerous for the tourists.
I know.
End up in jail overseas.
Right. That would suck. Thailand jail?
Yeah.
Oof, it'd be rough.
I don't think you're going to get your one call.
Might lose a finger.
You're not going to get your one call. And if you are, it's not out of the country.
So here's some more. Ready for Thailand?
Big Better update. Have a phone number on your hand when you go out.
3 years after decriminalization, recreational cannabis is now banned unless you got a medical prescription. Health Minister claims is to protect kids and curb addiction. Protect kids. Tell them not to fucking use weed. Make sure they have a license that says 21 and up. If they buy weed in the fucking, they go to the fucking record store, they have to have a fucking card. 21 and over. You know, a passport from somebody overseas. Come on now. So, but 18,000, there's 18,000 shops. 18,000 are scrambling. Critics call it a political U-turn that could drive things underground again. Stay tuned for the green drama. The underground will always win. So Thailand, if you don't want those tax dollars, if you want people going back to the underground again, that's exactly what you're going to get. And if you think those 18,000 shops are going to be scrambling, they're going to figure out a way. So
a good percentage of them will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Underground will always win. Big news from Aurora Cannabis. They're launching 2 high-potency medical strains in Poland from farm gas and sourdough, the strongest on the market. Oh, my God. So great. Strong weed. Does it taste good? Does it have flavor? Does it have cannabinoids? Poland. Try it. Let us know if it's good or not. These top shelf buds are bred from sour diesel and GMO genetics, hang dried, hand finished, and packed with terps like limonene and carofolene from gas drops June 30th, which was a couple days ago, sourdough in August. So European medical cannabis, stay tuned for more green breakthroughs. Big moves in Canada. Health Canada is exploring a new path to make CBD products available over the counter. The plan, reclassify CBD as a natural health product, NHP, allowing oils, gummies, and topicals to hit shelves without a prescription. But it's not a free-for-all. Strict THC limits at 0.001%. Pre-market approval and solid scientific backings are required. The consultation closed on June 5th, so stay tuned for updates in the green wave unfolds. Big news from Italy. A brand doing medical just scored Italy's first ever authorization to distribute medical cannabis flower. They're rolling out 3 potent strains that have good THC levels and balanced cannabinoids and some combos, ratios. This EU GMP certified bud hits pharmacies this month, making a major milestone in Europe's medical cannabis scene. Looks like Italy's getting a taste of the green wave. Stay tuned for more updates. Big news from China. 2 American basketball players tested positive for banned substances during April in competition testing. The Chinese anti-doping agency has released their names, but specifics on the substances remain undisclosed. This marks a significant development in international sports, highlighting the ongoing challenges of maintaining clean competition standards. Stay tuned for the updates as the situation unfolds. Maybe got caught smoking little weeds out there, which is highly illegal in fucking China. Oof. You might lose a foot over there smoking weed. New South Wales, a parliamentary report and calling for the discriminalization of personal cannabis use. The report highlights the current criminal regulations are failing to reduce use, criminalizing users and forcing them to access cannabis through illicit markets, which fuels organized crime. It recommends removing custodial sentences for adults found with possession of small quantities for personal use and expanding the domestic medicinal cannabis sector. Advocacy groups like the NSW Council for Civil Liberties are backing the move, urging the government to take immediate action. Big news from Australia. Nearly half of the Aussies now support marijuana legalization, up to 15 points since 2015. Support among 18 to 49-year-olds is especially strong, with 58% of 25 to 34-year-olds backing it. Even 50 to 64-year-olds are coming around, with support up to 19 points. Opposition has fallen to 41%. And only 11% remain undecided. Looks like the green wave sweeping into the nation from our friends down under. Hi, Tez.
Yay.
Hi, Tez.
Yeah.
Stay tuned down there for more updates. That is international news, everybody. So there was a big tribute over in Massachusetts for a cannabis advocate. His name is Bill Downing, and Mrs. Weedman's going to tell you about it.
Yes. There's been a lot of sadness over the news that legendary plant patient crusader Bill Downing passed away last weekend. And throughout his close-knit cannabis community, there's also been a shock which continues to echo. As his fiancée, Ellen Moore, relayed, after being active in weed politics around these parts for decades, Bill still had a fire in his belly. In the wake of his retirement from the board of Massachusetts Cannabis Reform Coalition, things seemed normal from the outside. He even recently showed up to testify on Beacon Hill and at the Cannabis Control Commission in Worcester. Bill still energetically continued as a vocal activist in an era where many consumers take green freedoms for granted. It was only natural for him, kind of like smoking a joint after smoking a joint. which was also something he was down for. Bill was an old-time smoker, Ellen shared. The last thing that he smoked was an old-school hash. I asked Ellen about Bill's weed work of late, but also about his origin story. Like, what was he doing before he ever walked through Boston Common dressed as Mass Can Pig Patrol to prevent cops from turning peaceful freedom rally-goers into perps? She went on to say that raised in Newton, Connecticut, Bill studied management at Babson College, which accounts for some of his entrepreneurial muscle he would later flex as a Vanguard CBD seller. Prior to his worlds of business and patient advocacy intersecting, though he worked in health tech. He worked for the company Philips, mainly selling dictation equipment to medical centers and hospitals in Greater Boston. It was with that background that he later launched Caregivers Connection, doing business as CBD Please, shipping laboratory-tested meds worldwide while deflecting charges in Boston Municipal Court and, in one instance, literally having armed SWAT teams tear apart his house. Though successful in business and activism, Bill will be remembered by those who knew him best for his love of fun, family, and food. Outside of his works for Philips, he made and sold barbecue sauce under the company name Willie's. Bill's affection for cooking was a shared joy with his wife Heather, who passed away in 2021. He is survived by 2 children, Freya and Willie, as well as Ellen and innumerable Canna comrades. So I spoke with some of them for a glimpse of his real life. Bill's friends all agree. He prioritized patients. After all, he was himself in need of meds, smoking to relieve symptoms of gout and to manage aneurysms in his legs. At the same time, Bill liked to get stoned for sport, and on that common ground, developed lifelong friendships with other motivated stoners who built Masscan into a New England force. The triple thrust of their belief in the power of pot as a party favor, medicine, and cousin of free speech made legal quarrels with Bill, Stephen Epstein, and John Swamley the stuff of legends. Andy Goss, a longtime friend and fellow former Masscan board member, recalled Bill's unique ability to hold Masscan together during the drive to legalize. Andy added, he was the person everyone liked and everybody respected, and he always had a common-sense notion of what would and wouldn't work. For many years, he was pretty much a one-person organizer for the Freedom Rally, securing permits, contacting vendors, and showing up at rally time. Andy also noted how Bill and others would bail out weed offenders and recalled the criminal campaigns that law enforcement carried out against his home and business. What we always knew back then was the city was going to find another reason to turn us down for a permit and jerk us around, John Swomley said. It was one thing or another, and it took a fun and mild-mannered guy like Bill, smart and serious, but high and smiley under the curved brim of his ball cap, which held back his long hair, to persevere through that kind of aggressive prohibition. He was a driving force that didn't rub people too hard the wrong way, and there were a lot of activists in Masscan who I couldn't say that about. John added, he was gracious and loving and passionate and a fierce advocate without making you dislike him. He had a sense of humor. He appreciated humor, and he was funny. We were fighting for free speech and the right to smoke weed. What more fun and noble cause could there be? Upon his passing, Mike Clinton, the current president of Masscan, wrote, as president of the very organization he helped build, I feel the weight of his legacy and the honor of continuing what he started. Bill laid the foundation. It's up to all of us to build the future, but we should never take it for granted that we stand on the shoulders of rebels, outlaws, and visionaries, people who refused to accept what was morally unjust. Bill touched a lot of hearts along the way, racking up impressive superlatives. He was the first customer at MCR Labs. He provided the sample, Ellen said. His company, Yankee Caregivers, which the state shuttered in 2014, was the first large-scale gray market pot biz to emerge after Massachusetts voters pulled for medical 2 years prior. A brilliant martyr who often fought for via businesses, he always had a foot in the medical cannabis struggle. Lately, Bill was particularly pleased with the leadership of Jeremiah McKinnon of the Massachusetts Patient Advocacy Alliance. Ellen understands how confused some people who saw Bill not long ago may be with his sudden passing. Very few people knew that he was sick, and he hadn't been visibly ill for long. Bill went to the hospital on Memorial Day weekend, and that's when doctors found metastasis of his liver. A biopsy showed that it was cancer, but the family was told it was untreatable. That it was treatable, not life-ending. Bill walked out of the hospital that time, but in subsequent weeks, he just got sicker and sicker, and last week, doctors told him that it was an aggressive pancreatic cancer and it could not be treated. Bill had just turned 67 on June 10th. Finally, I feel personally honored to have known Bill. We taught together along with a roster of critical cannabis community contributors at the Northeastern Institute of Cannabis in Natick. And of course, he was a thorough source for me and countless others covering this beat. Bill's knowledge of everything from legislation to the benevolent outlaw CBD realm and everything mass can to boot made him invaluable. And to double down with due respect on what so many others have said, or at least inferred since his passing, unlike many of his mass can peers, Bill wasn't an asshole. While I interviewed him on the record many times for matters mostly related to the annual mass can war with Boston City Hall over the rally, I appreciated that Bill didn't treat me like a commercial reporter. For them, he had no mercy. Bill told CBS Network in 2014, "I know I'm doing the right thing, and I'm doing it for the right reasons. I'm doing it for the patients here in the state, and I really don't care about the bureaucracies trying to stop me because they're immoral and because the public does not support them." So rest in peace to a cannabis icon by all measures. If you ever burned one with Bill, then you should feel blessed. This journalist says, "I know I do." Plans are in the work for Bill's celebration of life. Sounds like a cool dude.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
That's the end of the show. After you take a sip of water.
Yeah.
That was a long article.
That was a long one.
That was pretty good. Really good.
Good story.
You got anything else to say?
Have a wonderful 4th of July, people. You might be listening to this on the 4th of July or the day before or the weekend of. So have a great one. Celebrate your freedoms because they are not free.
It's true.
Go USA.
Everybody out in the world, thank you for listening out there. We love you. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Go enjoy yourself. Don't blow your fingers up. Smoke big fat doinks, as Paulie always says. Smoke smart. Puff, puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome, long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.